Here's a question for you to reflect and contemplate upon. Does a company, more public than private, exist solely for the enrichment of the shareholders or in the service of a broader constituency? What is the reality? What are your views and perspectives? I'll give you my 2 cents and I'll let you determine and come up with your own perspective on this complicated question that seems straightforward. You see, historically, if you look at people like Milton Friedman, the argument was that companies' only obligation is to maximize value for shareholders. Right? And more recently, though, there has been this fundamental question of the purpose of a corporation. Right? So you have corporate leaders who talk about taking into account all stakeholders, meaning employees, customers, society at large, that companies should deliver value not just to customers, but also invest in employees, be fair with their suppliers, support communities, generate long-term shareholder value, etc. Even people like Jamie Dimon, for example, has challenged the shareholder profit focus as too narrow, and an impediment to executives' ability to focus on long-term goals. Now, many have argued that the primacy of shareholder returns seems to have worsened the economic inequality, enriching wealthy investors at the expense of workers. There seems to be the case that to the extent shareholders are benefiting, employees were suffering, and also very severe detriment was exhibited in society. So there seems to be this conflict between shareholder enrichment and employee benefit. But sometimes I wonder if all of these broad responsibilities that are being thrust upon an organization that is there to maximize shareholder value seems to be, to me, almost taking up on responsibilities of a government. However, there are some real issues that comes up from this simple question, and that is about performance and payment. So how does a CEO get paid? For performance, right? Perform or perish. And what does performance mean? It generally means stock performance. So if I look at the regulatory disclosures of most companies, you see that senior leaders get paid for performance. And as I said, performance means how did the stock perform? So all of the CEOs issue financial guidance. They buy back sums of stock that dwarf capital spending and equate a healthy share price with a healthy pay package, right? And you should also remember that a CEO now is like a professional athlete. They have limited tenures, right? Their period at the helm is shortening. I think it's down from 5 years to maybe 3 or less than 3 on an average. I don't know, but I'm guessing. But the point is that they have a short tenure, and the way they generate performance or maximize shareholder value is via share buybacks, capital expenditure, layoffs, and ignoring larger self-interest. And to another viewpoint, if you say you have to be accountable to all, that also means, in my view, accountability to everyone is accountability to no one. Right? But at the same time, we've seen examples like General Electric. Right? I mean, General Electric touted its focus on investor returns, and then we've seen what happened. The stock price collapsed. There were serious flaws in its business strategy. The Securities and Exchange Commission at one point investigated the company for its accounting practices. It lost its blue chip status. And the decline of GE is actually a lesson for a lot of companies. So, this is not an easy question to answer. I know stock prices aren't perfect, but then they probably also offer the most concise measure of whether a company is on a healthy fast track or is it on a death march. Answers are uncertain, answers are unclear, but the debate rages on.